All right, so we're here with Don Helbig, who's the Public Relations Area Manager at Kings Island. I'm Jonathan, and this is Kevin.
Thanks for being with us today, Don.
No problem.
This is incredible here, seeing Banshee go up.
Yeah, it's been a nice process to watch it all develop. Since August 8th when we announced the ride, it's totally transforming the look of Action Zone here.
Yeah, it really is.
So tell us a little bit about what you will do on a daily basis here at Kings Island.
In the off season, pretty much coming out every day, just checking on the construction progress, taking a lot of photos, video, just to kind of, have that record of it. We'll be able to look back 4 or 5 years and see how it all progressed, from August 8th on. But also just planning for the opening of the season. We have Media Day on the 17th of April. We've got Opening Day on April 18th. A lot of different events coming up this year, a lot of coaster events. So just do a lot of planning like that on a daily basis in the off season. Then once you get into the season, that's actually the easier time. You're just trying to execute everything that you planned over the winter. So all the work goes into it over the winter.
Great.
So what's the current status? You can see, looks like all the track's up. Is that right?
Yeah, all the track work is completed now on Banshee. We're about halfway done with the station. The electric's in. We've got 2 of the trains on the track. The 3rd train will arrive next week. So we're almost ready to begin testing there. It won't be much longer before we do that. The ID sign being toward the end of March, beginning of April. So we're about there.
So all the steel, if I'm getting my facts straight here, it came from Clermont Steel Fabricators, which is right around the corner. Did anybody get to go out during the off season and check things out?
I did. I went out a couple of different times. I got the first piece of the track arriving, and then also the very last piece of track that was delivered. So I was out there a couple of different times. But those guys do great work, and it's amazing that not only look at Banshee, but Diamondback, Gatekeeper up at Cedar Point, all the top B&M coasters around the country. It's all being done right here in Ohio, down the road in Batavia.
What was this winter's weather like here? And for people not from Cincinnati, we had a tremendous record-setting snowfall, temperatures below 0 for weeks on end. Did that slow you guys down at all, or?
It didn't really slow us down in terms of the construction of Banshee. Some of the other things we want to do, like painting some of the other different buildings and some of the different attractions a little bit there, it puts you back. But, in some ways it actually helped us, as cold as it was, because the ground stayed hard. So you weren't dealing with the mud, where your things are, dropping into the mud when you got the weight of all the different vehicles and things that are going out there. So in that respect, even though it was a lot of days in the teens and, low 20s, that actually helped in terms of being able to get the project done without any kind of issues, when you have a lot of wet ground.
Banshee obviously is going to be an exciting addition to Kings Island. Has there been a different spark or level of excitement among the full season staff that's here and sees the progress every day?
I think anytime you have a new attraction, like Banshee, back, you look at 2009 with Diamondback, you could even go back to 1979 with the Beast, there's always a lot of excitement, when you have a major new ride like that. But, I think everyone's as excited as our guests are to ride it. And not only that, we also have, our family members and our friends, they're asking us about the ride. They want to come out and ride it too. So, everybody's engaged.
Yeah. So, I guess once everything's on site and everything's ready, testing will begin. What kind of procedures, how long, is there like a set amount of time that goes into that? And who conducts that? Is it the park or is that B&M?
Yeah, there is a lot of testing that's involved with this. You start out with the water dummies that go on it, and the water dummies are all different weights, so you're going to kind of, each train will be kind of what a normal train would be with actual riders on it. And it'll go through a series of electrical, operational, mechanical tests. We'll do several cycles, or actually hundreds of cycles with each of the trains. And then the state will come out and they'll inspect the ride, and they'll be the ones that commission it to allow us to put our guest on it.
Great. So at some point you have to have some Kings Island employees that operate this ride throughout the season. What goes into that, and is there a competition among some of the maybe people that come back annually to operate the latest and greatest at Kings Island?
There's always a lot of competition. Everybody wants to be working on the biggest, newest attractions, and we have a lot of really good associates here in the park, and the opportunity to work on Banshee, something they all were aspiring to do last year. So we're in that process now of selecting the crew, and a lot of them will be notified over the next couple of weeks, and they'll be brought in toward the end of March, beginning of April, to do their training on the ride.
Cool. So obviously Banshee is going to set the world record for the longest inverted coaster, but it also comes really close to a couple other world records. For example, the tallest inverted coaster. And also, I think it's one shy of the most inversions. One of our listeners wanted to know, was there ever consideration during the planning stage to go for those other records, or?
No, it wasn't about, with Banshee setting all the different world records that we could. It was just about delivering the best possible ride for our guests. And we want to deliver a great experience. And I'm looking at the design and talking to the B&M folks. That's what we've done here with Banshee. All the elements are in place for this to be not only the best inverted roller coaster on the planet, but also one of the top steel roller coasters out there.
We had another CoasterRadio.com listener write in, and they were curious if the placement of Banshee and kind of the upgrade of the bat, does that kind of set a path for maybe future park expansion with some of the green area you see out there?
There's plenty of room around the park to expand, not just here in Action Zone or behind Banshee, so you look around the park, just hundreds of acres still to work with. We've got room back behind the racer, back where Dinosaurs Alive is, back behind the water park, so it doesn't have to be restricted to just this area for expansion. But when you add a new ride like Banshee, you've got the bat being renamed from Flight Deck, and all the work that's going into that with painting the track, orange, and the columns are going to be different shades of charcoal. The trains will be black. So when you do that and you add Banshee, it does lead to those kind of questions like, what are you going to do, else in Action Zone? But right now there are no additional plans to add any other rides back here for right now.
So I assume, is it correct to assume that Banshee will be part of the Fastlane program?
It will be part of the Fastlane program. That'll be released probably about mid-March.
Okay, so
what rides are going to be
decided whether it be the regular Fastlane or Fastlane Plus?
It's likely going to be Fastlane Plus.
Okay.
And I think you'll have that, and then most likely Firehawk will be the other ride on Fastlane Plus. We don't want to have too many rides at Fastlane Plus, but just due to the popularity and everything you're going to have on Banshee, it just makes a lot of sense to start it out that way.
Great. So I think I saw a tweet earlier this week or maybe last week, something that alluded to night rides on Banshee being something special. Is that something you can talk about right now?
Yeah, if you think if you've ridden the Beast at Night and you think it's a great night ride, and a lot of people think it's the best night ride in the world, wait until you ride Banshee. There's going to be a lot of different elements that are going to be in place with the textured lighting and other lighting effects. It's going to kind of bring the legend of Banshee to life, and it's just going to be an incredible night ride. So when you come to Kings Island, one thing you definitely want to make sure you do is you ride Banshee at night, because it's just going to be a great ride experience, and it's going to be one of those rides where you have the daytime, like the Beast, and then there's the ride at night. So two different experiences for you.
Great. You've actually got a special event coming up for the first night rides on Banshee, is that right? Can you tell us a little more about that?
We do. It's Scream for a Kid again, and that's going to take place on April 17th, the night before we open. It's going to be from 9 p.m. until 11 p.m., and everyone that participates in this is going to have the opportunity to just ride Banshee over and over again at night and be the first to really experience what this ride is about, when the sun goes down. All the proceeds are going to benefit a local organization called A Kid Again. They do a lot of things for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families, provide support and different types of outings. We worked with this group when we did the Diamondback First Rider Auction in 2009, raised $107,000 for that ride event. And we're hoping to raise a significant amount again for Banshee. Anybody that wants to get involved with this, it's going to be a great time. It's not really about how many rides you get, about raising money for a great cause, but also having that opportunity to be the first night riders. And you just go to our website, visit kingsisland.com/Scream for a Kid again, and you'll get all the information there. But just a great event. I highly recommend it if anyone is interested in riding Banshee, being one of the first riders. It's a very simple process on how you get involved and how you can raise money.
Great. Don, this has been a lot of great information. For people that may not be close to Kings Island, can you tell us how we can, track the progress of this ride?
Well, we have a live webcam on our website. You just go to visitkingsisland.com, go to the online fun area, and we have a webcam that's focused on it 24/7. So that's one of the best ways to track the progress. But also follow us on our social platforms on Facebook and on Twitter. We're putting a lot of updates out there almost every day about the progress with Banshee and everything else that's going on in the park.
Cool, great. Well, thanks for all your questions, all your answers.
No problem, and can't wait for you guys to come out and ride it.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.